Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video we're going to talk about Precious Plastic. Precious Plastic is not really a company, it's an open source recycling method for plastic. And they currently just released version 4. Now what these people did, what Dave Haskins, I think it's pronounced, is the main guy. And I've been following this guy for 5 years, 6 years maybe. And you know, he's just all about plastic recycling. And actually an upgradable smartphone that like you could, you know, swap out this and swap out that, like that's one of his things too. But anyway, the Precious Plastic thing. So version 3 has been out for years, and version 4 basically just makes more industrial equipment. So you can actually go download these plans, build the equipment. It's no joke equipment though. It's machine shop equipment, you know, CNC, mills, lathes possibly. I mean, it's, yeah, lathe, absolutely. I mean, those are giant screw rods and stuff like this. Yeah, so it's machine shop stuff, right? But I think it's like 4 machines, right? So you don't need all 4 machines. Like if you just want to do plastic sheets or something like that, then you wouldn't have to do that. Or if you don't want to do plastic sheets, you know, there's a whole machine just for sheets, right? So anyway, what these guys did to pull off version 4 was just amazing. He got a grant of like 300,000 euros and a building for a year. And then what he used that money for was basically to create an environment that people wanted to come volunteer their time. So the volunteers' time equaled 1.5 million euros at minimum wage, and you have to realize the level of work that was going on. I mean, not only have they designed all of the equipment that anybody that wants it can just have it. Well, obviously you need to be able to afford to afford to have somebody build it for you, the capabilities to build it. That's obviously a thing. Which if they had, you know, some sort of grant system to provide those machines around, that would be amazing, right? So anybody could just do this. Now, not only do they provide you with all the blueprints you need to build the machines, they also provide you with a online marketplace that you can sell all your stuff as well, right? And these people just did this in open source, right? And this is, you know, and you know, so other people can make, you know, this stuff and make a living and all this. Apparently version 3 was a little more like hobby level. You really couldn't, you know, just be pumping stuff out all day long. It just wasn't built for that. So that's what version 4 is actually built for, actual, you know, plastic recycling. Now, what this should look like, right, is all these little transfer stations, you know, or at least associated with transfer stations, right? That's where these things could be installed. And there's just like, you could have an open source workshop where people could just come, bring their own plastic and turn it into, or you could also, you know, maybe certain hours, like evening hours, the thing could be open to the public. And then during the day, it's just working on recycling just all that area's plastic, taking this plastic recycling situation from, right now you gotta, I mean, they were shipping all this stuff to China, right? I mean, and the shipping and the gas that you burn and the shipping and all this stuff, removing all that, tying these precious plastic plants, bucking them right up to solar power farms and wind power farms, so they could be run when there is the power to run them, right? So now there's extra power, too much power, whatever, super cheap power. That's when you can turn these machines on. That's another, scenario, right? So, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with the ocean cleanup project, right? So the ocean cleanup project has spawned into the river cleanup project as well, and they've identified 1,000 rivers that are causing the majority of the plastic to get into the ocean, right? And they're deploying these river cleaning, trash harvesting machines, 1,000 of them, right, all over the world. It's just amazing. This is a kid doing this, right? I mean, he started when he was like 17 or 16 or whatever, maybe even younger, but now he's maybe 22 or something like that, I'm guessing. And I don't remember his name. So what literally can be happening though is, they're deploying these river cleanup devices, and they could literally just deploy the precious plastic version 4 right there alongside that. So the plastic's being harvested right up out of the rivers and then turned right into products. Very short distance from where the plastic is being taken out of the river to where it's going into its next phase, right? Being recycled, right? So, and all this is young people. Young people are just grabbing the bull by the horns and doing this. Huge corporations are going down the road of like turning plastic back into what it originally was molecularly, and then that way you can you have the ultimate just raw material to start again from, okay? Which is viable. We need to be doing everything. I mean, plastic pollution is disgusting, and it just needs to be cleaned up, right? So they're deploying these giant freaking things that are going to clean up the oceans. They're deploying all these things that are going to clean up the rivers. I've been saving my plastic forever with the intent of building some sort of device to recycle it, right? Now, the device that I want to build is a lot more rudimentary than these precious plastic machines. And if I could get, blocks, something, pavers probably would be thing, But it's going to be a power requirement because pressure's involved. Pressure and heat, right? So the heat I want to get from burning trash, basically. Just the normal trash that I would burn anyway. Like I burn off like cardboard boxes, and anytime I buy something and it has paper associated with it or whatever. So I compost most everything. I burn some stuff, and then all the plastic, rubber, and glass, and metal, and all that stuff is all put aside for recycling. Almost all the building products I've been buying have been recycled materials, either remnants, ends, or whatever. So this is seriously an important thing for the planet to get behind, right? And what these people did at Precious Plastic is just amazing. And it's not, I mean, it's an ongoing thing, right? I mean, their online presence and marketplace, it isn't. That's just, it's like just the beginning, right? So it's that whole thing. And, these, like for instance, I would venture to say that equipment put out in a rural area like where I live, like everybody out here, I would say a lot of people are probably burning plastic. I would say there's probably some people that are burying plastic, right? So to prevent all that, having a device, but even the level of the precious plastic version 4, not even just my little cheap paver maker thing, right? But the precious plastic 4, which will make anything that you want to make out of plastic. You just have to make the die, the cast, the mold for it, right? Make anything you want. Build the equipment, build the mold, make whatever. Now, something like this would go hand in hand with a goat's milk soap operation, because recycled soap dishes that the soap comes in, oh, forget about it. People would love that shit. Yeah, I would love that. Well, I'm not really. I would love to create it for people that would love it. And then that plastic can be recycled again and again and again and again and again and again. It's not like a one and done. We literally have enough plastic just to keep going. And moving forwards, we should be using other things like this stuff here. I'm not exactly sure these are compostable kitchen bags, right? So stuff like that. So the bags that are going, now these I just use for scraps. And I tried to do like a scrap bucket where I could just use it, but it's like, it just gets too nasty and bugs and stuff. So those things just break down, and it's just easier for me to do those. But things like that, I mean, they're making plastic out of hemp. They're making plastic out of like mushroom fiber, all kinds of things, right? So, plastic is trashing the environment, but all we need to do is start looking at it like a resource. Because look, if you had all the equipment to turn that plastic junk into like a light switch cover, or the little insulating brackets that hold the electric fence off of, anything that's plastic, right? Could just have a press, bloop, 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 and make millions of those things. So anyway, this was just a little quick video about plastic recycling. I've got a few more, because plastic recycling in general is very important to me, as regenerative agriculture is very important, and cleaning up the entire planet, the oceans, the rivers, the land, the dumps, every place. Let's clean it all up, make it all beautiful, landscape the world into beauty, right? Okay. So thanks for watching the video. If you made it this far, please consider subscribing, because once I have 100 subscribers, functions unlock at a level 100. Thank you. Peace.